DIY number 1. Now this is an example of a clean pour. So I'm going to use this vase that I got at Dollar Tree, and the first thing I'm going to do is clean it off with some alcohol. Now unfortunately, I forgot to turn on my camera when I did the clean pour, but don't worry, I'll show you another example of clean pour. I'm going to use this decor piece from Dollar Tree. Note that little leaf on the top, that's important. I'm going to show you that later. The reason why I'm using the towel holder is to put the glass vase over the top so it has a place to drip down. These are the 3 colors of pouring paint that I got at Dollar Tree. They're already pre-mixed. You don't have to mix them. You can mix acrylic paint with an additive to do paint pouring, but on this one I'm using the pre-mixed pouring paint from Dollar Tree. So what I did is I just simply took the bottles of paint, held them over the vase, and poured them down over the top of the vase. You're seeing that I'm just adding a little bit more paint to the top of the vase, and that's all I did for this. But you'll see me do another clean paint pouring technique on another piece, and that's all you do for a clean paint pouring technique, is just pour the paint over the object. I'm going to let that dry, and that's how it came out. You have to let it dry for 2 or 3 days. Now I'm going to make this into a vase, so I'm going to take this styrofoam piece and cut it down so it'll fit inside to hold some floral pieces. I have a large amount of floral pieces to use. I'm not sure what I'm going to use, so I'm going to look at a couple different things. I have some gold acorns, some brown acorns, some natural burlap acorns, and then of course I have a lot of orange and red leaves and flat yellow flowers and red flowers. So I fitzed around with it for a bit, tried different things into the vase to see what I wanted to use to make the floral arrangement in this vase. And finally I came up with, that's one of the burlap natural pumpkin picks. Lots of orange and yellow leaves, red leaves, and I had a bunch of yellow and orange flowers. I just had a whole bunch of things. So I played around with what I wanted to put in there, and I ended up using the orange leaves, the orange sunflowers, and a few orange and yellow berries. And that's how my vase came out. We'll take a better look at it at the final reveal. But I think it came out really pretty. You can see how pretty the vase is by simply pouring paint over the top of the vase. DIY number 2. Okay, this is just a silver charging plate that I got at Dollar Tree. And again, I'm going to do the clean pour using the coral paint, the amethyst pouring paint, and the lime green. Now these are not necessarily the colors I would have picked for fall, but it's what they had. So I tried to pick 3 complementary colors that would sort of look towards fall. I'm going to use that half of a large jumbo popsicle stick, the fork, that brush to do some different things on the silver charging plate when I get done doing the clean pour. Clean pour certainly just means that I'm pouring the paint onto the object, just like you see me doing there. Nothing fancy. I'm just pouring the paint on the object randomly, helter-skelter. That's exactly what I did to the vase. I just poured the paint over the top of the vase and let it drip down. I didn't want the paint to gather at the base of the vase. That's why I hung it over a paper towel rack, so it would drip all the way down. Okay, so now I'm shaking the bottle because it's been a couple days since I've used the pouring paint. So I'm just randomly putting those 3 colors on the charger plate. No special technique here, just pouring it on the platter, on the silver charger. Now I'm going to pick up the charger and I'm going to swirl that paint around. You can see I have a lot of parchment plate sitting underneath it, the platter. The charger is bigger than my, I have a cookie sheet underneath it, but the charger is larger than the cookie sheet, so I want to make sure that I keep my paint concealed because this is kind of messy. But don't worry, everything washes off with soap and water as far as on your hands and on your utensils. So I'm just swirling that, pouring paint all over the charger. I want to make sure it all gets covered. And there is no special technique to this. It's just swirling the paint around to cover the charger. And you can do this any way you want to. There is no artistic technique to this. I'm just swirling it around to make sure the entire charger plate is covered. That's all there is to it. I mean, anyone can do this. Now I want to add a little green because there's no green there at that one spot. So I just added a little green of the pouring paint to that one spot. Now I'm going to shake it down. Let me tell you folks, there's just no directions to this. You just swirl. Okay, now I'm going to take this plastic fork and I'm going to try and make a design in the paint, but the paint is too thick, so the fork didn't work. Now I'm going to take this Brussels brush and I'm going to do a few swirls. Swirls, that's what I'm doing, some swirls. And I'm just having fun here. This is just having fun. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just having fun. Just making some swirls in the paint. Nothing artistic. Now I'm taking half of this large bamboo jumbo popsicle stick, and now I'm just making some curves. Once again, there is no rhyme or reason to this. I'm just making some swirls, and it kind of covers up the silver of the charger plate underneath. No rhyme or reason here. Just having some fun. Now I have a plastic knife. I was going to try and do a little bit of a design with the plastic knife, but again, the paint was too thick. The knife didn't do any design. Excuse me. Then I decided to take these little blue beads I happen to have in my stash. Don't know why I decided to do this, but I just had them in my stash and I thought, okay, I'm going to sprinkle some of these little blue beads all over the plate. Just, again, having fun. Just giving it a different look. No special design here. I just picked up a few beads in my fingers and sprinkled them on the plate. No specific design, no rhyme or reason, just having fun, sprinkling the beads on the paint. And because the paint was thick, the little beads stuck to the paint. Again, just having fun, trying something different. Okay, then I had this little piece of aluminum foil, and I thought that might make a different kind of design, but nope, didn't do it. Okay, so now it's dry on the front, but because this is going to sit up in a photo frame, and people would see the back, and you can see how the paint dripped around to the back of the serving charger plate. I'm going to paint it black because the back will be seen when it sits up in a photo frame. So I'm just going to cover the back with the black ink chalk paint so it's nice and neat. So that's all I'm doing there, just covering the back with the ink chalk paint so it looks nice and neat on the back. Because, you know, when that swirling was done, it dripped around to the back. No problem. Just kind of kneading up the back of it. Okay, now I need to do something to the front. So once again, I got into my stash and I pulled out some orange velvet pumpkins and some leaves and a green velvet pumpkin and some little flowers, and I hot glued those to the top. Then I had this little metal sign, Harvest, and I put that on there. But I didn't like that. I looked at that for a couple days, and that just didn't make sense. So you'll see in the final reveal, I took that Harvest sign off and put another sign on there that I thought was a lot more appropriate. But that's how I did the clean pouring paint technique on this charger. You can do it on any kind of object that you want to. You just pour the paint on, and if it's a vase, you just pour it on from the top. If it's something flat, you just swirl it around. You can do it on any kind of object. So I'm just doing a little topping on there, and that's it. Okay, DIY number 3. Now this is a dirty pour. So I'm going to use this little cup that I got at Dollar Tree. I'm going to take my paint and I'm going to layer it into this cup. First I'm taking the amethyst and I'm just putting a layer of paint in there. And then I'm going to take, I think I take the lime green next. I'm going to put a layer of lime green on top of that. And then I'm going to take the coral and I'm going to put a layer on top of that. Now I'm not going to mix it and I'm not going to stir it. I'm just layering the paint in this cup. This is a dirty pour. All right? That's all it is. It's layering paint on top of one another. And I think three different colors is a good combination. Any 3 colors you want to pick. So now I'm going to lay the pumpkin on top of the cup just like that, and I'm going to flip it. Then I'm going to lift up the cup and dump out the paint just like that. Okay? Then I'm going to take the pumpkin and I'm going to swirl that paint all over the pumpkin, making sure the entire pumpkin is covered with paint. Again, it's a little messy, but it all cleans up real easily. Just use a lot of paper underneath. I use parchment paper. So I'm swirling it around. No special technique. Just getting something so that it covers all the pumpkin. Make sure I have the whole pumpkin covered, and I think I needed a little more pink someplace, so I'm going to add some pink. Folks, I got to tell you, I am really fighting with my computer doing this voiceover. So if there's some double voiceovers, I apologize. Alright, so I'm going to add a little pink here, and you can do that if some of the colors didn't come through on one of the places you want it to. Alright, I'm going to set it down, let it dry for a couple days, and come back and finish this project. But of course, nothing ever turns out quite that easy. So when I went back a couple of days later and picked it up, I saw where the writing from the original design came through. Didn't like that. So we're going to now paint over the pumpkin with my chalk paint in black or ink. Cover that all up and do another clean pour. No, dirty pour. Sorry, dirty pour. So we're going to just paint over that to cover up all the design from the original pumpkin design. Let that dry. It's chalk paint. It'll dry pretty quickly. And then we're going to take the cup and do a new dirty pour. Now, I did wash out the cup completely. And like I was telling you before, the cup and the paper towel holder just cleaned up completely with a little bit of warm water. The pouring paint just cleans up extremely easily, and my hands too, just a little soap and water, and everything cleans up. Okay, so let me catch up with my video here. So I'm talking with what you're seeing. Okay, so there we go. There's the clean cup. There's the clean paper towel. There's the all black pumpkin base to start again, and it's dry. So I'm just going to layer the cup again, and you can layer your paints in any layer that you want to. I kind of start with if I'm using all colors, I start with my darker color. But you can use black and white too. Black and white makes real pretty pouring paint. Real pretty. Black on the bottom, white on the top, and then your colors in between. All right, so there we go. I'm going to do the swirl routine again. And I don't think I used as much paint in my cup this time, so I'm going to have to go back and add a little bit more paint. But this is the same routine. Now, you can see I'm getting a lot of bubbles there. Some people love the bubbles. Some people hate the bubbles. There are things you can do if you watch YouTube. There are things you can do to make bubbles. There are things you can do to avoid the bubbles. I don't get that technical with my pouring paint, but you'll see later that those bubbles turned into cracked paint. Like you can do things to make your paint crack. Well, I didn't do anything to make my paint crack or to make bubbles, but I did get a lot of bubbles, and the bubbles turned into cracked paint, which I just say, that's great. This is art. There's no mistakes in art, only opportunities to enhance. So I didn't worry about it. Besides, I already had one mistake. I had to go back and fix that. And that wasn't a mistake. It was just an opportunity to enhance. So, and I know my voice is getting cracky because I've redone this voiceover 3 times because I'm having problems with it. So I'm just getting it all covered, and I'm going to let it dry. And now it's dry. Now look and see. See, you can see where the paint is cracked. I say that's enhancement. I'm an artist. Ha ha. No, I'm not. But anyway, so I'm going to leave it just like that. Now I have this ribbon, and I'm going to use it to make a tie. I got it at a Dollar Tree. There's already holes in the ribbon, so I'm going to use those holes, and then I'll tie knots in the back and hot glue the ribbons to the back. And I have this thankful sign. They come in 3 packs at Dollar Tree. Blessed, Harvest, and Thankful. And remember that little leaf that I bent back? Well, when all the paint swirled over the sides, the leaf got painted too with the exact right colors. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than smart. So I'm going to hot glue that on, put the ribbon tie on, see. I'm not going to worry about paint in the back because it's going to be a hanger. Nobody's going to see it. And then I hot glued the thankful sign on, and that is the dirty pull. This is Nona from Nona's Here, and I usually don't take this long to introduce myself, but my computer is not playing nicely today. So let me introduce our host for HelloHarvest. First is Ellie from DIY from House to Home, and then we have Lisa from Our Gray House, and the lovely Tammie from Happiness Created. I'll have all their channel links down below, and of course they will have the major playlist of all the creators who are joining in today. Be sure and check out their channels and the channels of our host and guest host. You'll find lots of creative ideas for HelloHarvest, and be sure and show our hosts and our creators some love by giving them a thumbs up, and feel free to subscribe to any of their channels. You know it's free, and you'll be getting lots of good ideas. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Now let's get back to our last DIY. I'm sorry for any of confusion. My channel, my voiceover and computer just are not playing nicely with me today. All right, back to it. Now number 4. So if you're not interested in paint pouring, this is for you. Got this little decor piece at Dollar Tree. I'm going to take off the string bow. I'm going to use this little light blue pumpkin, dark blue pumpkin. The light blue one has a clip on the bottom. I'll take that off and save the clip. I have some real pretty dark blue and light blue leaves with some berries, white pumpkins, but I'm not going to use the white pumpkins. I'll save them. See, pumpkin maple bush. So, and I got this light silver blue decor stick-on removable tile decor. Now that's a small size. So I'm going to take off the little bow, and I'm going to take off the harvest sign. Wasn't easy to come off. It came off kind of dirty, but that's all right. I'm going to clean it up. So then I'm going to take my block, and I'm going to put it right in the middle of that stick-on decor so I get the pretty design in the middle. And it fits on there just perfect. So I'm going to trace around it and cut it out. And I'm going to peel off the back and stick it onto the block. All right, just going to stick it on the block, and I'm going to leave the stem plain. It's supposed to be a square pumpkin, okay? So I'm just going to cut it out, and I kept the real pretty design in the middle, and then I'm going to hot glue the harvest sign on the bottom, and then I'm going to take those pretty blue leaves and pumpkins, and I'm going to hot glue them to the top. See how easy this is? A kid could do this if they are old enough to handle a glue gun. Excuse me. So that decor went on there nice and smoothly, no problems. No bubbles, real pretty. And the edges of that block were already painted blue, didn't have to mess with that. Okay, so I'm just figuring out how I want these to go on. Hot glued them on. Hot glued the harvest sign on. Bumpity-dum bump bump. Finished. It stands up on its own. Took the clip off, saved the clip. And that's the end of DIY number 4. So let's take a look at the final reveal. Hey, thanks so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to Known As Here, now would be the perfect time to do it. I do craft videos. Those thumbnails are always in blue. I do Temu hauls. Those backgrounds are always in orange. I do subscription box unboxings. Those are in yellow. I do other kinds of reviews. I do Mask Mondays with my husband, Grumpy Grandpa. Those are in purple. And I sure would appreciate it if you would visit me on one of those videos on my channel, Known As Here. So subscribe, be sure and hit the bell and the word all so you're notified every time I upload a new video. Also, be sure and go over and check all the other creators who are participating today and give them some love, give them a thumbs up, and subscribe to their channels. I thank you so much. Be sure and comment down below of which was your favorite project of the ones that I did today. Okay, let's take a look at my final reveal. Oh no, we've got to thank our guest for HelloHarvest. First of all, it's Emily from DIY from House to Home, Lisa from Our Gray House, and our very lovely guest host, Tammie from Happiness Created. Okay, DIY number 1 was the clean pour vase that I did with the orange sunflowers, leaves, and berries. I think that really came out quite nice. Not the colors I wanted, but it worked out. The dirty pour pumpkin with thankful, and the clean pour charger plate with the welcome sign and the beads and the different kinds of fun I had with the brush and the different other utensils. And then finally, the fourth, not paint pouring, but the very easy using the tile, stick and peel and stick decor, and the pumpkins all done in blue. Hey, thanks for watching. Hope to see you at Nona's here again very soon. Bye.